Hi again. This is Samantha Engelbart Clark bringing you the next segment in our Blogger Law 101 tutorial, Trademark Law as it applies to domain names. Now, for all of you out there who are well on your way to becoming the next TechCrunch, you will want to know how to protect your blogging brand with trademark registration. That I'll save for a future tutorial. Right now, all I want to do is keep you out of trouble when you register your domain name. First, let's clear up some of the confusion between the protection trademark law provides versus that of copyright. The major difference is that trademark law protects words or short phrases or symbols that, and this is primary, identify a company or a brand so that consumers can distinguish the products and services of that brand from another. Copyright, on the other hand, protects the original expression of an idea and includes the gamut of literary, musical, and dramatic works. Another way to think of the difference between the two is that copyright protection is about rewarding creativity and originality, while trademark protection is all about brand building. So let's talk about trademark law as it applies to domain names. You're about to register your name. Why be concerned now about trademark law? Well, simple. When you register a domain name that is identical or confusingly similar to another's valid trademark, you're opening the door to a hall of horrors where, at a minimum, you can lose your domain name, and far worse, find yourself defending a lawsuit with potential liability for attorney's fees and money damages into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's take a peek down that hall for the weapons a trademark holder has against an unwary domain name owner. The first and most often used weapon is the UDRP. When you register a domain name, the fine print in the contract between you and the registrar says if someone else asserts trademark rights in your domain name, you agree to a dispute resolution procedure called the UDRP. Why is it preferred by trademark holders? This proceeding is cheap and fast, at least as compared to a lawsuit, and more than a few scholarly types say it's biased in favor of the complainant. So the bad news is that domain name owners lose UDRPs most of the time. The good news is that a ruling in favor of the mark holder only means that he or she gets the name. There are no award of money damages or the other side's attorney's fees available. The second weapon is a lawsuit. In the U.S., the claim of choice is the Anti-Cybersquatting Consumer Protection Act, or ACPA, because it applies specifically to domain names. Here, a trademark holder who can show you registered or used in bad faith a domain name that was identical to or confusingly similar to his or her mark can get the name in dispute as well as money damages against you in the range of $1,000 to $100,000 per domain name. And for non-U.S. domain name holders, you can still lose your domain name under this act because it provides a way for a court to force any registry to transfer a domain name to a trademark holder, although under this provision there's no monetary damages available. And finally, there are a host of laws that can apply to domain name owners who are not residents or citizens of those nations, depending on whether a court can exert jurisdiction over the domain name holder. So how do you avoid the pitfalls of even unintentional trademark infringement? Here are a couple quick searches you can do to make an initial determination of whether you might have a trademark problem. The first is through the United States Patent and Trademark Office's website to see if anyone has registered a mark the same as or close to your domain name. If you click on the Start Here link, you'll be directed to an informational page that also includes a link to the electronic search function, affectionately known as TESS. At the portal page, you'll be asked to select a search form. I recommend the basic as it's the most inclusive and least complicated. Once you get to the basic search term page, type in your domain name as the search term. You'll have to do a couple of different searches, both with and without the TLD, that is the .com or .net, as well as different spellings. But when all is said and done, this is the page you're going to want to see. The next search you'll want to do is through a search engine like Yahoo or Google. Look for company names as well as slogans that may use a phrase included in or the same as your domain name. If you've been truly original, you won't find much here. If you've chosen a more descriptive phrase, you may be wading through pages of material. I'll end with a word of caution. If your searches show up terms that look a lot like your domain name, either pick another name or talk to an attorney familiar with trademark law. So that's it for this segment. See you next time.